Alright everyone, welcome back to the Cubecar Championship Series Season 2. Today we are at race number 4 of races 20 here at what was supposed to be Circuit of the Americas, but unfortunately that track did not have enough pit stalls for 42 contenders. It only had 36, so we would have 60 NQs, which would make a few people very sad. So we're just going to race on this track instead. It is pretty much shorter overall than Coda is, but before we get started, let's look at our ones to watch for today's race, starting off with the 34 of Heihachi, who was very strong in all 3 rounds of qualifying, has a pretty good chance to do well in today's race. Our second one to watch for today is the 44 of Daisy, starting deep in the field, but has been pretty good on road courses, even though she's never won at any of them. Let's see if she can move her way through the field and finally pick off that first career win here today. Another cube that's been on a hot streak lately is the 19 of Igus, currently second in points, I believe. Or not second in points, coming off of a second place finish at Richmond, looking to get another good position here today, starting in the top 10 in Portland. And our final one to watch for today is the 24 of Crush Cube. Lost an engine in qualifying, but almost made it into the final round. However, since he lost that engine, he is not able to make it to the final round. So he has to start all the way in the back, but he was very fast in the first 2 rounds of qualifying that he made it in. So look out for him to be good in this race today. Dragonite in the 23 and Tram in the 42 are on your front row for today's race.
Drivers, start your engines.
We're ready for 64 laps at this road course, our first road course race of the season. So this will be a very interesting race. Let me just switch my ticker on real quick. It's going to take it not very long at all for these guys to get to the finish line to start this race. The pace car already goes ahead and pulls off to the infield, and the first race at Portland that I've ever run online is green. Tram deep into the braking zone into turn 1. And he's going to have the advantage going into turn 2 as that slow hairpin. It's going to make guys go cautious around that corner, but Tram gets away with the lead into turns 3 and 4 here. He's going to sail all the way into the long turn 5. Then he's going to go into turn 6 right here. Very long corner as well. Then into turn 7. And then turn 8. Oh, caution's out already. We've got an incident on the track. I don't know what it is. Someone must have gone around at one point, but I don't see any tire marks. Do we just have a phantom caution on the first lap of the race? Oh, no. Suncube and Pock are in trouble. I can't even tell because of their cameras, but these two are involved in the crash. Already. They must have went to the grass. We were already under our first caution of the night here at Portland. Tram is going to lead them to the yellow flag on lap 2. So the pace car is going to pick them all up, and we'll get this party started once again. But let's find out what happened to the 11 and the 56. Let's fast forward a little bit here so we can get to see what happened to these two. So they're already running close together. Oh, they made some contact, went into the grass, and both impacted the tire barriers. And I guess that's how the cautions work here, is that if you get stuck in those barriers, you're going to cause a yellow. So looks like they just got greedy on the first lap, got into each other, and now they're stuck on pit road. But now all these guys back here are trying to sort out what they need to do. They're being goobers. The AI loves to be goobers on road courses. I'll be honest, most of the camera angles here aren't that great, but I'll just I'll work around them to decide what the best angle is. Right now we're already under caution 2 laps into this race, so this is definitely a start. But after the start of this race, Tram leads, then Dragonite second, Haruhi third, Heihachi fourth, Sisyphus is fifth, Cold Steel is sixth, Gogomobile seventh, Gentle Cat eighth, ninth is Aegis, and 10th is Road Toad. Oh, and the O2 of Omori Jr.'s got a suspension problem already. He's probably going to have to come down pit road and get that fixed. So already we've had three cubes with issues so far in this race. So now that we're under caution, I might as well bring up that, actually he's not going to pit. Interesting. But usually I go on a little history tangent. Oh, U-Haul's on pit road too. Interesting. And Hedgerton. And Space Cube. Oh, a few guys are already coming down pit road. So U-Haul's on pit road, so is Hedgerton, Space Cube, and someone else. That's Klonoa and Curb. Curb had to go to the back of the field after he lost a tire in qualifying. He had to get that changed, and that forced him to the back. But unlike the other tracks that I've raced on here, or at least the ones we've raced on so far, I don't really know that much about this track, so no history tangent for you guys today. And both Suncube and Pock are out of the race already with accident damage, so whatever damage they took on the tire barriers, that's going to be it for them. So on lap 1, or lap 2, they've retired from the race. That's definitely not a way you'd want to start, especially this early in the season. Especially Suncube, who already won a race this year and already on some decent momentum. He does not need this right now, so problems for the 56 early on in this one. I don't know how long the cautions last on this track. Oh, never mind, the pace car lights are already out, so I guess this map has a zone that lets the pace car do that, which is nice. So thankfully the cautions here are not as long as they are on other tracks. Here's Curb, Klonoa, and Space Cube all coming around. They're on just barely slightly fresher tires than everyone else. I don't exactly know how that'll benefit them that much, but only 5 people came down pit road that time, so. Also, our fastest lap of the race, not really a surprise, it's the 42 of Tram. He's been out front so far. And once we go back to green here, we'll be single file, and hopefully things will be a lot more, or hopefully a lot less aggressive than they were last time. Also, don't mind the flashing fence, that's just the game's camera doing that. This is a good shot right here, though. Sisyphus already trying to make a move after the start of this green flag. Into the tight turns 1 and 2. And into 3. Tram gets away once again. Heihachi battling back here with Sisyphus in the 08. And he goes wide a little bit, so does Cold Steel. Cold Steel actually gets into the... Ooh! Made a little contact with Gentle Cat there coming off of the curb. That's what you gotta be careful about, because this track is not very wide, so you gotta plan out your moves carefully. But it's very easy to stay side by side with someone at these road courses, especially at a thin track like this. It's probably very easy to get punted into the wall off of that corner. But Tram already getting out to a decent lead over Dragonite and Haruhi in the 55. They're all taking these corners pretty well after that restart. No caution just yet. This little group right here is getting kind of crazy together. Spark It Up made a little contact with the 60 of Le Cube de Baguette as now he's coming down pit road. No, he's not. Mellow Wada's coming down pit road for some reason. There's nothing on the chat box, so she's just coming in for regular damage repair, I think. Whimsicott is on as well. Strange. Oh, diving it deep into turn number 1. Very similar to Monza's track. Oh yeah, it is for damage repair. Interesting. So nobody took tires or gas on those last pit stops. They only came in for damage repair, which is interesting. But they're all starting to thin out now, so we should be starting to see less action on the restarts. We'll see how long Tram can hold off the rest of the field for. As a 23 seems to be the slowest one in this pack, as he is currently holding up both Haruhi and Heihachi. And Sisyphus and Cold Steel right behind. Gentle Cat 7th. Roto goes to 8th. Passes Golgomobile, who's in 9th, and then Aegis is now 10th, followed by Lightning McQueen right behind her in 11th. And everyone just ran their best lap of the race right there, so let's see what Tram can do with the lap to himself in that clean air. He's not going to run a faster lap. And everyone else behind him will, because they've all got the draft. Well, except for McQueen. Don't know what he's doing. Oh, did Aegis come down pit road? I think she did. Yeah, more people are coming down pit road. Interesting. So I guess they're just, like, getting too aggressive with each other, and they're all having to come down and fix some damage. Ooh, Haruhi gets forced wide going into 4 and 5. And she's going to lose a spot to Heihachi here. And here comes Sisyphus in the 08 trying to get some spots as well. Yeah, they did come in for damage repair. Interesting. So these two are going to merge right behind the 89 of Whimsicott, so they'll get back in the draft relatively soon. But those two, Aegis and Roadtoad, battled with each other at Richmond last week, ended up losing the race to Goob in the 00, who won off a pit strategy. But they're starting to thin out right now, so don't expect too much to happen in these coming laps until they start getting drafts and coming up pit road. I actually don't know what the pit cycles are here. I think it's around lap 20. Oh, and someone else is on pit road. Looks like it might be Klonoa again. No, it's not Klonoa. It is Grimir Nation that's on pit road. Yep. And there's Klonoa back on pit road again. So these guys are making a lot of contact. Probably in turns 1 and 2. Ooh, nice camera. Nice tree POV. But Heihachi now moves to 3rd. Looks like Sisyphus and Cold Steel are hunting down Haruhi for 4th. But not by very much. Actually, Cold Steel now has the fastest lap of the race, so he's doing pretty good so far. And now L'Équipe de Baguette is now 10th. Packmobile hiding right behind in 11th. Looking for the perfect opportunity to pass this 60. They're going to fan out a little bit more. So far, they're really not wanting to battle each other that much. That's what I'm noticing right now. There's Klonoa, who pitted again. Currently last out of all the keeps that are running right now. It's harder to go a lap down on a road course like this because of how big the tracks usually are, but this track is pretty small compared to other road courses. But the problem with that is that it's a lot slower because of how some of the corners are, so. Crazy thing that this track is actually shorter than Daytona. But if Tram goes on, leads every lap, and wins this race, I can tell you the owner of that cube will be very, very satisfied with his cube's performance today. Looks like Cold Steel's catching up to Sisyphus a little bit. He did not run a faster lap that time, but he is still balling right now, doing a pretty good job staying behind the pack. Everyone else is just trying to do their own thing, go single file, and wait it out till pit stops happen again. But hopefully we don't see many mechanical failures before then. Considering how long this track is, I'm going to take a quick swig of my water. Very nice. good view from the wall camera of everyone going by. And there's Milliwetta. For everyone else just kind of doing their own thing, having a good time. Crush Cube, it's gone all the way up to 24th since the start of the race. A pretty good recovery for him since he started 38th. And he is moving his way up the track. Currently the fastest lap overall is Road Toad, probably because he's on maybe fresher tires, but ooh, wow. Crush Cube just got forced up the inside line, or outside line there. He's not going to lose any spots from that, but he's definitely not going to be happy with Amori Jr. right in front of him. Gentle Cat, though, making some advances on Cold Steel in the 74. Cold Steel's fallen to 4th fastest overall. Whimsicott's actually doing pretty well in terms of speed. Ooh, no caution. I thought there was a caution out for a second, but not today. Not today, says the ASDF movie guy. But right now, Tram just kind of killing it. Dragonite and Heihachi are doing pretty good too, but actually Tram, wow. Dragonite ran a lap that was only 1/1000th of a second slower than Tram. That's how close they are in terms of speed right now. Oh, actually, no. Tram ran a really good lap that lap. I think he just ran the fastest lap of the race. Yep, he did by... Oh, my God. He ran a fastest lap by 0.3 of a second. That's actually a crazy difference on a road course, considering how long these laps are. On a smaller track like Bristol or Martinsville, that doesn't make that much of a difference. But here, that is a huge difference. He was 0.8 faster than Dragonite there, which is mind-boggling. Tram's on a roll right now. Hopefully nothing bad happens to him in this race. Like a caution. Galaga and Sheepmobile, two cubes that battled each other a lot last season. There's Hubris, who is battling from a pretty ho-hum starting position in the field, running 17th now. He hasn't usually been the best at road courses, but she's doing a pretty good job. Same with Shadow the Hedgehog, hanging out right behind her. Is 70-sider and 70, who actually won at a road course. He won at Fort Wayne in the original Cubecar series that he was in. And that was the only win he's ever had, so he's just chilling right now, looking for a good position. There's Daisy, who's gained some spots as well since the start. She's up to 21st. The Tram, let's see what Dragonite does in these first corner. Heihachi actually braked really late there. He's going to get right to the back bumper of the 23 of Dragonite, although he is going to go a bit wide on exit, so he's going to have less momentum. I should have set up a turn 2 cam before the start of this race, but oh well, this is the best we got. A lot of people just taking it nice and slow into these corners, not really trying anything too crazy, which I don't blame them. This is a track where you definitely don't want to do what Pac and Suncube did, is now they're both out of the race. Heihachi, though, gaining a little bit. Oh no, he was actually slower than Dragonite that lap. He is gaining. Not by much, but he is gaining on that 23. He's looking for second place and potentially even looking for the lead if he can get past Dragonite here. He needs to drive it deep into turn 1 like he did last time, but he is right in the tracks of that 23. McQueen up to 9th, though. Not doing too bad. He didn't really drive it deep this time either, so he's just trying to make his way around. I know this track is normally an IndyCar track, so there they don't go as slow as they do here because of how the aerodynamics work over there. And Dragonite got a really good run out of turns 4 and 5, so he's going to get away pretty quick. Klonoa right now pretty far away from the 42 trail. It's his best interest to stay on the lead lap, so hopefully he can catch a caution and get back up with these leaders. Everyone's pretty spread out across the track right now, so there's nothing too much to worry about in terms of positions. Actually, Galaga has gotten away from Hubris and is now just in the tire tracks of the 30 of Sheepmobile, trying to hunt him down for a spot. There's Spark It Up and Toasto battling each other for 13th. Sad Knuckles kind of all by himself. That 42 is the class of the field right now. Even though Dragonite did gain a little bit that lap, he is inside of the 42 now and going into the corner, but who knows how long that'll actually be a thing, because tire fall off at a track like this is very real and very dangerous. Because if you look up a corner, you're basically into the tire barriers, especially with grass physics like we have here at this track. I believe both the 23 and the 34 gained some time on that lap alone, but these two have been going at it for a while, trying to find a weakness. Or Galaga's trying to find a weakness, trying to exploit it. He's losing some momentum here, but he's going to fall back a little bit. Now Gun looks like he's going to make a move on 70-sider in a little bit when he gets there. Let's see what Dragonite's distance is now from our leader. Oh no, he lost some ground, so... Tram is just continuing to run good lap after good lap. Everyone in the top 10 behind him, except for Sisyphus and Cold Steel, have run slower laps than Tram did. Cold Steel actually might be the fastest cube on the track right now, because he's running some crazy good laps. Even though Tram has run another fastest lap of the race, Cold Steel is still extremely fast and just doing whatever he can to actually get up there and get in position to take away the lead and maybe even get a win. He is hustling right now, trying to get up front. He's hustling. Sisyphus, though, looking to get past Haruhi. Really the only sections where you can probably gain, try and pass someone, are in the straightaways, like right here going into turn 1, and going into that one straightaway before the section that goes into turn 1. But when I was looking at for a track that would replace Circuit of the Americas, I was looking just for something simple, something that didn't have a lot of tight corners and stuff like Coda, and I found this, and I was like, oh, this is that one airport track that IndyCar races on. But I realized that's a different track called St. Petersburg, and this track is different in pretty much every way than St. Petersburg, but it is still a pretty good track. At least for me, I'm pretty good at it myself. I think it's kind of cool, if you know what I mean. More and more gaps are starting to be made, but more and more rivalries probably after the damage that some of these guys got on these restarts. Because all these guys back here either sustained damage from something, as here comes Whimsicott making a move on the 19 of Igus, but Igus is going to get away as Whimsicott had a bad corner. We're all just looking for the next first round of pit stops right now, as Tram is just continuing to blow away from everyone else. Even though Dragonite did get a little bit faster that time, and I've tended to notice with the AI on these tracks that they tend to get back up to the lead pretty quickly on road courses. They're all trying to find their own footing right now before these first round of pit stops, which should, like I said, be around lap 20 or maybe even lap 30. Because I don't think this race is going to be that long. Well, that's debatable, but it just depends on how many cautions we have. Which, look, depending on how spread out they are right now, I don't think we're going to have that many cautions. Winky face. Seems like every once in a while Dragonite gains some time, and then loses some time, and that's not really what everyone behind him needs right now. The Dragonite did lose some momentum again in that corner, so looks like everyone's starting to spread out. So that means that's how you know their lap times and their tires are starting to wear down, is that they're starting to spread out. Not really go for any type of action, just trying to get to the end. But Crush Cube, though, like I said, he was one of our ones to watch. He's trying to make a move on Omori Jr. here for position. He's going to have to wait a little bit to actually make a move on that O2. And then all the guys that pitted earlier back there. Tram's still pretty far distance away. It's pretty far distance away from Klonoa, but won't be long until he starts putting people in the lap down at the rate he's gaining ahead of everyone else. Also, look at that. Dragonite's 0.420 seconds or 420 seconds behind. Nice. Yeah, the AI here loves to stay on the racing line. They love to find their ideal line. They just kind of ride with it, and that's what Tram is doing right now. But since some of these earlier guys pitted, they might actually get the lead, maybe lead some... well, no, they didn't really pit for tires, so... I don't know when they're going to pit, but we'll have to wait and see. And since this track is relatively short compared to normal short tracks. I mean, it is a normal short track. It's just short compared to other short tracks. Well, short tracks, road courses. What am I saying? Our next short track is, I believe, Rockingham. That's race 7. We got Talladega next race. Then, I believe it's Kansas. Then Rockingham. Or no, it's Kentucky. Then Rockingham. I did not add Kansas to the schedule. But now it looks like they're just constantly trying to make advances on each other. Now they're not really finding their footing just yet, but once we start going under caution, not under caution, but under the green flag pit stop cycle, things should start to spice up again in terms of competition, because they'll have fresher tires and they'll want to take more risks. But now, really, no one is going at it right now. They're playing their own games. Dragonite actually gained some more time. He's gaining time and losing time, and overall, he's losing more time than he needs to gain. But he's got a pretty decent distance ahead of Heihachi here. He was slower than Tram was that lap, but pretty much everyone, except for Haruhi, was slower than our leader that lap. So Haruhi's doing pretty good in terms of time. So is Go-Go Mobile. So is Pac-Mobile. Everyone else behind them, well, they're just trying to find their footing, like I mentioned earlier. Except now it looks like they've already found it because they are just sticking to their lines and using however much of a line they need to get to where they need to go. Let's see what the distance here between him and Dragonite is. It's lower, much lower. Dragonite is definitely losing a lot of momentum. Let's see, it was 6/10 slower than Tram there. Wow. And we haven't had a single mechanical failure since Mori Jr. had that ghost issue earlier, so. Ooh, battle. An actual battle. It's Sad Knuckles and Pac-Mobile. The 82 must have gotten a great run. Here he comes on the right side. He's going to drift up with the 97. He's going to swing around and turn 8. And they're still side by side here for position. Looks like there's really no one. No, it's really hard to get an advantage on this track because of how many times you go each direction. Looks like Pac-Mobile is going to get the advantage here, and he's going to stay in 11th place. For now, well, these two are still going at it. Sad Knuckles goes wide a bit in that corner, but he gains his composure once again. No one here in turns 1 and 2 is making any moves on each other, so they're just getting the draft and moving on, as they probably know by now that they're much slower than our leader. But now that we're hopefully coming up on our first round of green flag stops soon, although I have no idea when they stop or when they start. We are half an hour in with 23 laps in, so that's a good sign, I suppose. That lap was even slower for the 23 of Dragonite, so he's going to fall further and further back in the field. But everyone else behind him is actually starting to catch up to him in Heihachi now. They are running similar lap times, but they are starting to catch up to him now. Looks like Gentle Cat is kind of pushing them all up towards him. Even though Tram did run a slower lap of Dragonite there, he is still leagues ahead of the rest of the field. He has led every lap so far. And this is what was happening to Rotoad last week, and it was what happened in Fontana. But those races, we had a leader come out of nowhere at the end and take it away. So maybe it'll be the same here. Who knows? It's a road course. It's hard to catch up here. But like I said, the only mechanical failure we've had is the O2. And Dragonite still not making much momentum on the leaders, but he didn't lose too much, even though Tram was faster than him that lap. And everyone behind him is slower, so they're not making much headway. It's now Sad Knuckles and Packmobile going at it once again. He's going to have a run coming out of turn 3, but he's not going to make another run at Packmobile again. This Goob, your winner from last week, in the 00, running 26th. Not doing too bad. Now we're all just patiently waiting to see what will happen in these last few laps before their first round of green flag pit stops. I don't even know what lap they'll do green flag pit stops in, but right now it's looking to be relatively soon-ish because their lap times are getting lower and lower. Or slower and slower, really. And Dragon Knight now trying to get further ahead of the 34 of Heihachi, doing a pretty decent job at that. Oh, here we go. We got a battle between Cold Steel and Gentle Cat. These two have been in the top 10 pretty much all day, and they'll be practically side by side throughout all of these corners. So let's see who's going to be the winner of this exchange. Looks like Gentle Cat was ahead of Cold Steel, but like I mentioned, Cold Steel's been one of the fastest cubes on track, and he's going to get ahead of Gentle Cat here on the straightaway. Is 71 going to fight back? No, he drives it in wide, just like what happened with Sad Knuckles. And now Gogomobile on the 13 trying to take a look as well. Gentle Cat, though, still right on the back bumper with the 74 of Cold Steel. Meanwhile, further back, still not much action now. Curb and traffic kind of going at it, but they're not doing too much. Our leaders, though, have broken away. Oh, wow. Tram is now almost 5 seconds ahead of the leaders. And then Dragon Knight's almost a full second. Actually, he is a full second ahead of Heihachi, I believe. Yeah, he's 1.3 seconds or around that ahead of the 34. He's holding her own, though, with Sisyphus behind. And looks like Cold Steel's got a pretty good distance ahead of the 71 now. Is now trying to make a run towards Sisyphus for that position. Mid-pack seems to be the least active. Oh, wait, never mind. Raccoon and Hedraton. These two could potentially be in contention with each other, as Raccoon right behind the 06 here. So they're catching up to Mr. Kill as well, but they're not gaining too much momentum there. I believe Dragon actually did gain some time, but overall, like I said earlier, he is losing more time than he is gaining. He is pretty much leaps and bounds behind our leader. Looks like Side Knuckles and Packmobile might go at it again, but Baguette not doing too bad either. He's running 10th. He's currently our highest running field filler. Actually, no, I'm a liar. It's Lightning McQueen. That's our highest running field filler. The Tram right now 1 minute 17.4. Oh my God, 666, the number of the devil. Do you know the way of the devil? Actually, Haruhi ran a faster lap than all of them there, but she's having a hard time getting past everyone, so it'd probably be very difficult for her to actually get up front, unless we have our green flag pit stop soon. But the more we race, the less confident I am they're going to make it on fuel. Because if they get to lap 30 for green flag pit stops, around lap 30 or lap 31, then I don't believe they can make it to the end of this race without having to pit again. Because they'll have to pit before the checkered flag. Unless they can stretch it to the end, which is doubtful on a track like this. So we'll just have to anxiously wait and see what this all comes down to in the end. As Tram and Dragonet, he got closer that time. He ran a much faster lap than Tram did there. Now only 4.3 seconds back behind the 42, but he is still at a negative net loss overall. Ooh, 70-sider went wide in that corner there. He went into the dirt. Don't know what happened there, but he lost a ton of momentum. I thought he was going into the tire barrier like what happened with Pac and Suncube. But he saved it there, and he's going to keep going, but he just lost a lot of momentum to the 47 of Gun. Looks like Crush Cube catching up to Omori Jr. So all these guys starting to... Ooh, Curb and Air Traffic Cone still going at it, and then these guys back here. Actually, Road Toad has passed Igus, which is interesting, because he's at the back of this pack. And it looks like Klonoa's catching up to them, too. Dragonet slower once again that lap. He's slower by 0.6. So yeah, he is definitely losing more speed. But Heihachi's catching up a little bit, but not substantially, unfortunately. Nobody really making any big moves to these first two corners. It's like one of the best spots you can make a move to pass, but no one's really going for it, because if you go on the inside, you lose a bunch of momentum. It looks like Daisy got forced wide by Gun, and now these two are going to be side by side. Gun almost in the grass there, almost makes some contact with the 44 here. That's one of the worst corners to be battling in, as that's one of the tighter corners of this track. Looks like Gun is going to have a slide advantage, and he's going to get away from Daisy here, but Daisy's going to charge right back on the inside lane. And Bowser right behind the 85, not taking too much of that either. But Gun gets away there, but how long is Daisy going to hold back for? Looks like Bowser might actually have an opportunity. Nope, never mind. Daisy sealed the deal and got into her spot. So let's go back to our leaders real quick. Or actually people who are actually still up front for now. Dragging it now more than 5 seconds behind our leader, Tram, who, like I said, has led every lap of this race so far. Started on pole, so... Actually, no, he did not start on pole. Dragonite started on pole, so... I am a liar. Florida got a pretty big breakaway. So Sad Knuckles right here is 10th. He's going to go past the flagman now. Spark It Up is 13th. He's multiple seconds behind Sad Knuckles. So there's a bit of a breakaway with these two packs. So once they start coming down pit road, we'll start to see how far they can go. But we're already past the halfway point of this race, so pit stops are now just an afterthought, as I believe they can all make it on fuel if they get to pit here. Maybe, who knows. These guys trying their absolute best to try and draft off of someone, make some kind of headway, and get some positions, but no one's really taking any opportunities to do that, you know? It's very interesting. Ooh, Heihachi kind of fucked up that corner there. He got a really bad entry, and so did Sisyphus, but Sisyphus actually got a really good corner exit compared to Haruhi. He might actually have a shot to pass her. Never mind. My perspective is a little weird on this, but they're still going at it in their own terms. Just trying to get to the end, I suppose. Yeah, I actually don't remember when the green flag pit stop cycle is on this track, because it is obviously not as long as it's intended to be, but I'm assuming it's going to be around... It's going to be soon, because these road courses definitely all have to pit before lap 50, so I'd say it's around either lap 38 or 40. That's my best guess, because at other tracks like, well, yeah, I'd say around lap 30 or 40 is my best guess, because... at some of the road courses where they go like 80 laps, they pit around lap 20 or 30. But this track is shorter than those, so... pit stops will not, or take longer to get through with than everything else. For those tuning in, we had a wreck on lap 1 where both Suncube and Puck got into the tire barriers in turn 3. They both are out of the race now with terminal damage. So those are the only 2 retirements of this race so far. We had one mechanical problem, and it was the O2 of Mori Jr. He did not fix it yet, I don't think. He's running 23rd right now, so he's just doing the best he can to get to the end before reverse pit stops begin. And Tram has led every lap of this race so far. He's just kind of in his own element right now, I should say. Our Dragon actually gained a good bit of time there. He ran a 17.6 and 18.5 for Tram, so he ran a much slower lap than Dragonite did there, which means that those tires are falling off real quick. Ooh, Gogomobile catching up to the 71 of Gentle Cat. Right on the back bumper. Not going to get much out of that corner, though. So McQueen's trying to catch up to that group as well. McQueen got a top 10 last week at Richmond. He did pretty good there. And during the early part of the race, some people got damaged during the green flag. First little bit of the green flag section, they had to come down pit road to get damage fixed. So they're all kind of doing their own thing right now on their own strategy. They won't be too different in terms of pit stop strategy because they pitted like 2 or 3 laps after the restart started on lap 3 or 4. So Dragonite lost more time again as Tram continues to get away. Where he falls back a little bit, but she's on her own. Sisyphus practically on his own, but he's got Cold Steel and Gentle Cat in the mirror right there. And Gogomobile falls off a bit as well. Closest battle I'd say we've got right now is between Hubris and Shadow, maybe between Gun and 70-Sider here. Then Crush Cube and Amogus, even though these two have barely touched all race. That sounds really weird out of context. 18.4, 18.4. So yeah, these lap times are really starting to slow down for these guys. They are really looking for a big break here, like a caution or some pit stops. Hoo-wah. Oh, I guess it's on pit road. Interesting. No warning for that either, so either she's got damage or... Let's see what's wrong with the 19. Yep. Oh, well, all tires in 1 can of fuel, which means they're still got a little bit of fuel left to go until they have to pit, but considering she took 4 tires, that means that they're getting really close on their tire wear. She's going to be our first cube to go a lap down in this race, so unfortunate for the 19. She must have gotten damage from something in the recent laps to cause that. Ooh, Toasto goes a little wide, but he's going to get out of that corner pretty well because he got the better corner exit, and he's not going to lose any positions. Crush Cube trying to make a run on a Mori Jr. Dragon at 18.0, 18.2. So Dragonite's still running slower laps, and Tram ran a faster lap than pretty much the entire field. So he is in a class of his own right now. And like I said, we've had this happen. Oh, we've got a battle right here actually between Goob and the One Piece. Looks like Goob is going to have the advantage coming out of turn 2. And he does, and he gets away from the One Piece there. We've had 2 instances last year where we've had someone lead every lap and win the race. Ooh, and here comes Crush Cube looking to pass Bowser. He's not going to get there in time, though, as Bowser falls and loses a spot to Amori Jr. But next race on Tuesday, which will be a couple days from today, we'll get to Talladega, and that'll be an interesting race for sure. Talladega is always fun. Yeah, no one really has been wanting to make any passes in this race, which is unfortunate because this track had a lot of high hopes for it, but now considering maybe it was not a good emergency replacement for Coda. Coda probably wouldn't have been much better because road courses in general are not very good places to pass, but it is fine enough, I guess. These two running pretty similar laps overall. Tram still has a fast lap of the race. Absolutely no surprise at all, though, because he's been killing it so far. But at this rate, I genuinely have no idea when they're going to have the pit. So, but they will make it to the end on fuel if they do have the pit. So, but at least we know one that's going to make it to the end without having to pit again. That's the 19, hopefully. Raccoon looks like he's passing Mr. Kill. And he's going to get it here in that corner. So that's turn 6. I believe that was turn 7, actually. Oh, someone else is on pit road. That's Dragonite on pit road. Anyone else coming in now? No, it's just 23 for now. He might be our first taker for green flag pit stops, unless it's taking damage repair. Let's see what happens with him. Yep, looks like he's coming in for green flag pit stops. So he's our first taker in that category. So we'll just have to wait and see what everyone else does. Since he pitted first, he might actually be in an advantage here because he's going to have a lot of time to get back up to speed compared to everyone else who has not pitted just yet. Yep, Melowoda's on pit road now, someone who pitted earlier, and there's your leader. Tram is on pit road. Looks like Heihachi's going to stay out. Haruhi's going to pit. Oh, weird. The pit road cam is the same camera. Interesting. So Melowoda's on pit road. Tram is on pit road. So is Haruhi, Gentle Cat, Baguette. A lot of guys behind them staying out for now, though. Interesting. I believe Heihachi did lead that lap, though, so he's our first leader, or second leader of the race, actually. Gun is on pit road. Bowser's on pit road, and Among Us is on pit road. So our first green flag pit stop takers of the race. These guys back here shouldn't be too far behind either. But Heihachi leading the race and leading a lap, probably, for the first time this season, except, oh, well, no. He led some laps at Daytona, but... Looks like Heihachi's coming on pit road now as well. Sisyphus stays out. Cold Steel stays out. So, yeah, it's going to be very staggered for these pit stops. McQueen is in. Packmobile is in. So is Sad Knuckles. So, a lot of guys now taking their time to come on pit road. Looks like Kalnoa came on pit road earlier as well. Looks like Sheepmobile is in. Daisy is in as well. 70-siders in. U-Haul, then Space Cube, Traffic Cone, and Curb are all in. Dragonite and Haruhi running together. It looks like Sisyphus led a lap as well, so he's going to get some bonus points. Well, the Grimnir Nation and Whimsicott are in, so these guys that pitted on lap 3 are not on different strategies. Where is the 08? Ooh, it looks like Daisy might have made some contact with the 51 of Amoonguss there coming off pit road. That's not good. Ooh, Heihachi and Dragonite right next to each other. Looks like Heihachi came out ahead of the 23 coming off pit road. He's going to be ahead of him on the restart here. Tram still a pretty good distance away, but let's see how far the rest of these guys can go without having to pit. Looks like Crush Cube is in, so is Omori Sr. And everyone else, I believe, now that has not come on pit road is in now. Go-Go-Mobile, looks like Sisyphus, Cold Steel, Spark It Up, Toasto, Hubris. So everyone else that did not pit earlier is now coming down. And Tram is still going to be your leader, I believe. He's now less than 5 seconds ahead, but these guys are all now in a big battle for second. Haruhi took a look, but is not going to get much out of that. There's Gentle Cat and Cold Steel going at it for, I believe, 6th or 7th. It's not updated their positions correctly yet, but now they're about to get out there. And Cold Steel just got off of pit road, so he's got to let his tires warm up. So Gentle Cat's going to get away pretty quickly. Ooh, Omori Jr. had to go into the grass to let air traffic cone get around. And even though Igus is back on the lead lap, I believe. Well, no. Is she? No, I don't think she is back on the lead lap at least, so that's unfortunate. Tram is actually getting pretty close to these lap cars, but if he catches up to them, that could make it much harder for everyone else to get to him, as Raccoon now pits. And Heihachi still 5.6 seconds back behind Tram in the 42, so... Looks like Sisyphus and Gentle Cat potentially could battle each other for position here as Raccoon gets off the pit road. But now it's just a matter of how how many of these guys are going to make it to the end without having a problem mechanically, or how many cautions are going to have towards the end, because that's a big if. Although the way that they're racing right now, especially like at Richmond, we probably won't have another caution before the end of this race. Heihachi's gotten out to a pretty sizable distance ahead of everyone else behind him. As he just ran his fastest lap of the race. Not as fast as Tram, though, who is the only one to run a lap in the 1:15s. Go figure, he is continuing to run great laps here at this track. He must have rolled the highest level AI level possible, because that is insanely good. Just killing it right now. Looks like Icus is back on the lead lap. Ooh, whoa. Mr. Kill almost got into the grass there. I saw that for a split second, but he really threw it into that corner. Looks like Tram here could start running into lap traffic soon, which is really interesting, because the way that the passing works on this track is that he might be slowed down for quite a bit. Marina actually catching up to Dragonite a little bit. Also running a .666 lap time, which is pretty funny. And Heihachi just ran his fastest lap of the race. Oh, actually now 4 people have run a lap in the 1:15 category. That is now Heihachi. Oh wow, the 89 of Whimsicott now has the fastest lap of the race. Followed by Heihachi, and now Spark It Up have run 1:15. So these guys are getting faster. Is Tram losing time? He is a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough considering how many laps they have left. Only 14 left to go in this race. I believe that 55 can make a run on Dragonite if she can actually... She needs a everyone basically behind Tram needs a caution if they want to have at least a shot of winning this race. Heihachi has a chance. He was actually half a second faster than Tram was last lap, but that timing difference really did not sell that for everyone else. We'll see what lap time he runs this time. 16.3, and Heihachi runs a 16. Oh, he just ran his fastest lap of the race, and that's the fastest lap overall. So Heihachi is really gaining on the 42 Tram now. He is hustling. Yeah, this would be a good chance for Haruhi to get at least a top 5, because the way that the finishers are classified in this is that you either get a win, or a top 5, or a top 10. There's not really anything such as a podium. Podiums are just for show, especially in this, but podiums are more of an IndyCar and Formula 1 thing. But Heihachi really looking to get his first career win, but Tram also looking to get his first career win in that 42. And I know 2 people that'd be very happy if either one of these 2 wins. If you know who they are, you know who they are. So let's see what lap time Tram runs here, because he's definitely much slower in this section than he was before. Heihachi is getting closer and closer behind that menacing stare. Did he just run the exact same lap time? I think he did. That's consistency, if I'll say so myself. Heihachi is catching up even more. He's now down to 0.42 behind Tram. And Haruhi and Dragonite also still battling each other. 23 got away a little bit there on that lap. He actually ran a much faster lap than Haruhi did there, so he's getting away a little bit. Rest of the field, though, not really doing too much to impress. They're not really dressing to impress. They're not dressed for success. Number 8. The number 8 is great. We got the soldier. He's going for the medic. The soldier kills the demo. Now the demo is gone. I forget the rest of that video, but that's a really good video. It's MF Doom. So Tram is going to run a 17.1. Pretty bad lap for him. Heihachi runs a 16.34. He is catching up to our leader very quickly every lap. Actually, let's go on board with Heihachi for a lap. Let's see what it's like in the mind of the 34. You know, the gear shifting here at road courses is very integral to figuring out how fast you go. You gotta take those corners with as much gear shifting knowledge as you can. Oh, he went wide in that corner, though. He's gonna mess up a little bit. If you listen closely, you can hear the car bottoming out in the corners once they get to the curves. Which means that the splitter is touching the car, not touching the car, touching the pavement. So listen here real quick. He bottomed out a little bit going onto that curb, which means, well, there is no splitter because it's a cube, but just imagine that's like that. He is catching up very quickly to our leader right now. Tram wants a 16.1. Great lap for him. But Heihachi was faster, but only gains a small bit that time. Tram really kicked it in the high gear. Now let's go on board with the 42. Very light in the corners with the braking, especially in those harder braking sections. He also goes wide in turn 4. Very interesting. So it seems like some of the AI can't even deal with that well. Can't really run the whole racing line. But you can see in the mirror in the top right of the screen, Heihachi is there, especially in the corners, but who knows if he'll actually be able to get to Tram for the end of this race. Although he is catching up to the lap car of Igus right now, so if he gets slowed up by the 19, that could play a very integral part of Heihachi getting back up to the lead and winning this race potentially. Oh, he is catching up quite a bit. 16.3 versus a 16.2. Heihachi gains again. Even more continuous lap gains for the 34. Meanwhile, further back, Haruhi and Dragonite still going at it, but not much is being made there. Let's actually go on board the 55 while she battles with Dragonite. Now getting that draft from Dragonite on the straightaway. It's on the curb a little bit. She gains a little bit of speed here. Gets right next, close to the back bumper before going on to the final straightaway. Heihachi did lose some time that lap. He had a 116.1, and Tram ran his fastest lap of the race right there. So now he takes the fastest lap away from Heihachi, but now he's got lap traffic right in front of him. That's going to slow him down quite a bit, and it's especially hard to pass in these early corners. So that's really going to hold him up. So right now, what Heihachi needs oops, did not do that. But what Heihachi needs right now is that he needs Tram to do the best he can, or actually he needs Igus to hold off Tram for as long as she can to let Heihachi catch up. Because she ran a last lap of 116.98, and he does not need that right now. He needs a 1 minute 15 like he did last lap. That's over a second slower, and now Tram just struggling to get past the 19 here. On the straightaways, though, he can get past her, but only if he gets enough draft, which might actually happen, but who knows. Oh, he ran a 1 minute 16 now, and Heihachi didn't run much better either. He lost a lot of momentum in that lap. But he had a really good corner because all he had was himself in that corner. He's going to get away. Igus still holding off the 42 of Tram. Let's go on board with Heihachi again. Let's see how close he's actually getting to the 42. Solid run for Heihachi through the corner. Let's see what Tram's lap time is. A 17.4 and a 16.0 for Heihachi. He's down to less than 3 seconds behind our leader. And even if Tram does get past Igus, he's still got 4 more cubes to pass. So this is really good for Heihachi right now. He just needs 6 more laps to seal the deal and potentially take this win away from Tram. But then he's got to battle with these lap cars. So these lap cars could set up for potentially a very good finish here, because road courses, they sometimes have some very good finishes. See Watkins Glen 2012, for example. That one's a timeless classic. With Ambrose, Kyle Busch, and Keselowski going for the lead at the end, and Ambrose winning it all, the road course ringer from Australia. But there's the Australian cube out front right now, owned by DG Plex. Tram just trying to hold off Heihachi. 2 international cubes, might I add, by the way. I believe we have never had an international user winner in the series before. Actually, no, that's not true. I believe that's not true. I'll have to look that up later. But not only will we have our first Oceania winner, but we could also have our first winner from Asia in this group. So this could be an interesting... Uh-oh, we got an alert on the chat box, though. It's the 19 has an oil leak right in front of our leader. She might actually have to come down to pit road. Unfortunate for that 19 who came off of a second place finish last week at Richmond. Already not doing so great, but she might have to come down pit road to get that fixed. But Heihachi now under 2.5 seconds back. He didn't gain that much last time because he had a pretty slow lap overall, but he is hustling to get past Tram. But now Igus has to pit. Tram will have a little bit of time before he gets to Whimsicott in the 89, and that's going to be his next target to try and pass. But Igus ran a pretty good lap that time, but hopefully... How much was the damage? It was only 0.4, so she might not actually have to pit. If it's an oil leak, though, she might still have to pit, but, like, this is shaping up to be a really good finish. Heihachi is closing very, very quickly. Now down to less than 2 seconds. I guess comes down pit road, and Tram now has to get past the 89 of Whimsicott. 1 minute 17.4, 1 minute 16.7. Heihachi's is almost faster, almost a second faster than Tram is right now. And it looks like August is on pit road, so she's going to go a lap down again. Unfortunate for that team, who has had good and bad luck this season. Almost came away with a win at Richmond, but unfortunately did not happen. This Tram is really struggling now, as August now comes off of pit road. Did she retire from that? No. Alright. But Heihachi has the chance here to try and catch up to Tram. Let's count the seconds it takes. 1. Oh yeah, he's absolutely catching up to Tram. But Tram now Whimsicott just has to play devil's advocate here for Tram to. Whimsicott's actually running decent lap times. It's just Heihachi's running way faster lap times than everyone here is, so he's gonna have the same problem if he can't get past Tram here. 16.6, 16.7, so not much of a gain there for Heihachi because I guess pitted. Whimsicott did not ran a slower lap overall, but it's gaining a little bit of speed compared to the 19. Where did the 19 rejoin the track? Let's find out. Right here with Hubris. Well, alright then. Dragonite's gotten out to a pretty decent distance ahead of Haruhi, so it looks like he secured the third place spot for now. Right now, all eyes are in the battle between these two. I believe Heihachi has closed the gap to around a second to get to Tram. He's only got 3 laps left to do it. Can he close in time and get past Tram before the end of this race? I believe Heihachi might be the points leader after this, because he has had some consistent finishes late in this race, or lately. He's been killing it so far this season in terms of performance. So I believe he might actually be the points leader. Actually, him or Tram, because Tram has been pretty good recently too in these last couple of races. Less than a second is the distance between Heihachi and Tram. Looks like Tram messed up the corner a little bit. That's going to leave some distance for that 34 to catch up and try and get past him for the lead. But now that he's catching up to him, he might run equal lap times compared to Tram. So all Tram needs to do is hold off Heihachi for just a few more laps, but that 34 does not want to walk away without a win here. I guess not having an oil leak against Razor. True. He's looking, it's looking. Almost at the back bumper of the 42 here. Let's see if Heihachi can get past him on these last few laps. He's right there. And looks like Tram is losing momentum to Whimsicott, so Whimsicott's technically faster now. That's good for Heihachi, though. He might be able to get him on the straightaways. I think Heihachi's a little bit worse in the straightaways, but he's way better in the corners than Tram is, so now down to less than half a second. 2 laps to go. Oh, Heihachi goes wide. He's going to drag it in deep into the corner. They both ran... Actually, Tram still ran a slower lap time than him there. But Tram is still holding it on, or holding on defensively. Trying to dominate this race. If he doesn't walk away with a win, that would just be heartbreaking. Distance between Heihachi and Tram similar on this lap than it was on the last lap. So Heihachi not making much headway compared to what he was doing prior. He just needs to get way better corners than Tram does. But since Tram is being blocked up, he can't really do much either. I think Heihachi lost a little bit of momentum there. Coming to the white flag this time by one more time around at Portland. Is it going to be Tram or Heihachi taking the win today? Well, Tram, I'd say, has a pretty good shot to do it. Whimsicott's really going to slow up that 42 here. Tram ran a much faster lap than Heihachi did last lap, so I don't think Heihachi's got much left in him. Whimsicott's doing a good job at actually staying ahead of our leaders and not really hurting their performance too much. Tram just needs one more clean lap, but Heihachi's just itching to get past for the lead. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, but he's going to have to get really close and get to him in the corner to try and do it, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to do it. Dives it in deep into the braking zone. Whimsicott and Grimnir Nation battling right in front of them for a position, but I don't think Heihachi's going to have enough. Coming out of turn 11 for the final time. Tram led just about every lap in this race, and he's going to narrowly win it at the end. Tram wins at Portland. Just barely over the 80 or 34 of Heihachi. How about that? So we're just going to fast forward to the end of this one. There we go. No major performance changes or changes there. Go ahead and export. There we go. Top 10 for this one is Tram, then Heihachi, Dragonite, Haruhi, Sisyphus, Gentle Cat, Cold Steel, Gogomobile, McQueen gets another top 10, and Cube de Baguette are your top 10. Yep, DG, your Cube just won today. It was a very good battle towards the end with Heihachi as he was closing in really quickly, but it is over. Tram is now a first career winner here at Portland, and Tuesday, it's Talladega Tuesday this week as we'll be heading there for our last race of the week before I take a little bit of time off until next week. So we'll be heading to probably the most dangerous track on the schedule, besides maybe a new one that we've added this year. I'm going the wrong way on the scroller. But there it is, Talladega Super Speedway. We'll be heading there in 2 days for our second Super Speedway race of the year. Thank you all for watching tonight, and until then, I'll see you around. Good night.